There's been a lot of ups, there's been a lot of downs, and spiritually, mentally, you have to be strong. You have to realize you signed up for this. A lot of risk, a lot of reward. A lot of people don't like risk.
Welcome to another edition. Yes, another edition of Living Boldly with Purpose. And I'm Dr. B. I am your host. Oh man, it is so fun to talk to people, not only who are going places, but have been places and have failed, right? Because when we think about failure, we don't succeed unless we fail. And so many people that you talk to don't want to really sometimes talk about their failures. But as I'm watching, as I'm a listener, and I'm somebody who's, aiming for success in a bigger way, I absolutely want to know about what didn't work. One, I don't want to repeat it again if I'm going in the same, in the same type of work or type of thing. I don't want to repeat some of history's mistakes. But two, I want to know that I'm not alone. I want to know that it takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of time to make things happen in this world. And it's the journey and it's the process and living in purpose. And when I think about success and success leaving the clues that Tony Robbins talks about all the time, when I see success, it's about being and living in purpose. It's not about how much money you make. It's not how much fame you have. It's not how much notoriety you have. Success is about you living in purpose. And when you're living in purpose and you're doing why God puts you on this earth, it is just a phenomenal place to be. And I get to interview and talk to people who have been successful. Dr. Raj and I were just talking before the show, and he said he just found meditation. This is the man who had a wellness center for many years and just found meditation as part of something that creates a whole human being. It creates us the ability to be able not only to relax, but to have vision and to be able to see things and to be able to know that our bodies are just these vessels that we have to make sure that are running, I guess, like fine oil pistons that are just going up and down. And we do so much to them to stop ourselves from being able for them to work really well. So I'm glad that you found, something that can just help longevity of life. I just turned 60 a few weeks ago, and I'm thinking, I'm just getting started. I don't have time to die, And so hopefully during our conversation today, I'm going to learn some stuff from you that I can take and write down and implement in my life that's going to be even able to make it better and gooder. I'm just going to say a word like gooder, even though I know it's not a real word, but I'm looking forward to my life being gooder. And so, Dr. Raj, thank you for being on. I know you have this eventful life, and I want you, as I do with all my guests, I want them to tell their stories because I want to know who they are more than I want to know what they do. We're going to get to what we do because that's super important, and that's what we spend most of our lives doing. But in order to do the thing that he's doing, he had to become the person that he is today. And I want to know how he became the person he is today. So, floor is yours. I can't wait to have this conversation, and we'll chop it up after your story.
All right, cool. Well, thank you first and foremost for having me. I love your podcast. I love what it stands for. As I was saying, it's very close to my motto, which is passion, purpose, and perseverance. Those are the three P's that you need to really succeed in life. And I've certainly lived my life that way. So many people, I think, are restricted, are held back by their own fears of risk, of change, of just kind of getting out of what is comfortable. Really, you hear it all the time. You have to get comfortable in the uncomfortable, and that's really where you excel in challenging yourself. And I have always been one to take risks, but and when you say the word risk, a lot of people are like, "Oh my goodness, it brings up, it evokes emotion in you." And it's probably not a great word to describe how I challenge myself. I just found meditation, as you mentioned, and I've always been one to be able to manifest. I've been very good at having a vision and making that vision so real in my head that it actually comes to fruition. And really, I guess I've been practicing the practice of meditation for years without even knowing it. But now, as a healer, and I'll get into my story in a second, I'm just so excited. I'm really excited to be here. I love what you stand for, listening to your podcast, man, listening to your guests. It's they're real people. And listening to their success, but really it's their struggles because that's what people are dealing with
Yeah.
on a daily basis, being able to overcome their struggles. So, as a healer, what meditation really means to me, to break it down, I'm a chiropractor and I believe in the body's ability to heal itself, the innate ability of one's immune system. You cut your finger and the stinker heals, and which is super cool.
Yeah.
But meditation now showed me how to could you imagine being able to take control of your immune system and tell it where to go and what to fix?
Mm.
Pow! That's really what I got from meditation this weekend, and I'm going to directly apply that with patients. My life and purpose are to help people find health and wellness and reverse their chronic diseases, specifically type 2 diabetes, which is, I'm going to tell you, Doc, 9 out of 10 people, most people listening to this right now say you can't reverse type 2 diabetes. It's been documented for over 20 years worldwide that you can. Most recently, UCLA Medical School. So helping people find the answers, the root cause of why they have chronic diseases and eliminate them, that's what makes me tick. That's what makes me tick. But let's back up. I'll give you the story. I'll give you the
Yes,
story.
I can't wait. Now you brought in diabetes and stuff, and that's what they're telling me I gotta take all these meds for. And I'm like, oh
Oh
man, I
man.
can't wait to hear what we're doing because I 100,000% believe it can be done and reversed and not part of a life that I have and my family has and all the folks that I know. And it's like it just seems I just want to throw some like I refuse to take some of the meds that they're asking me to take and they say, well, we want you to get onto insulin. And I'm like,
Oh
I
my
don't want to be
goodness.
addicted to insulin. There's no way. I'm not going
So
to do
listen, I spoke to
it.
a patient less than an hour ago that after 4 weeks on my program,
Mhm.
she not only eliminated the Lantus injectable insulin she was taking, her doctor eliminated her insulin pump in
Nice.
4 weeks. Now she's
For,
got a long way to go,
of
but
course,
that's a
no, but
pretty good
that,
start.
yeah, yeah, no, that's a huge way to start. And if somebody's willing to be and do the things that somebody who knows what they're doing is asking them to do, then there's no reason for it. I mean, I think of like metformin is that, that number one drug that is just poison. I won't do that either. I mean, it's just, they just keep giving
Metformin's
it.
been pulled off the shelf. It's carcinogenic.
Oh, it's so bad. They're so bad. And then every time I go, don't you want to take metformin? It's like a miracle drug. A miracle death drug is what it
Yeah.
is. So, no, so
So
I hear you. We will continue to talk about because I think it's important for our listeners to hear it. But I definitely want to hear let's back up to your story and then we'll jump into that too.
okay, cool. So I grew up, I went to college for a business marketing degree in Drexel University in Philadelphia. It was a cooperative education, meaning that you went to school for 6 months and you worked for 6 months so that you graduate with a full resume. It was cool. I got some work experience. I started to get my feet wet in the business world, that's where I was going. Uh, and I had grown up playing tennis.
Okay.
I know you were an athlete playing a lot of different sports. I was ranked, USTA ranked as a junior for tennis, played tournaments all over the country. And in college, I was still playing on an intramural type level when
Wow.
I
So you went from this big stage to this intramural and beat everybody in intramurals, I'm sure.
at that point, I was kind of burned
Were
out. I
you?
can
Okay.
tell you, I went at it pretty hard as a preteen and teenager, and I had an opportunity to play in college tennis, but I decided to really enjoy and put my time into my studies. I was really excited about getting into the workforce. I really was.
Okay.
I had a paper out growing up. I
Mhm.
worked on Wall Street. I mean, there was a time at 15, 16 years old, I'd get up at 4:30 in the morning, commute for an hour and a half to Manhattan to Wall Street, work 8 to 4, come home by 5:30, get on my moped and deliver newspapers. I was a working soul. I loved it. I did. Um, so I was headed in the business direction. I was playing tennis in college and I rolled my ankle, twisted it really bad.
Okay.
And I went to the orthopedist, put me on crutches, told me it was a really bad sprain and to give it 4 to 6 weeks and I should be cool. Well, I was home on the one weekend while I was on the crutches, and I went to go see my local chiropractors, husband and wife, who had years prior eliminated my migraine headaches
Okay.
that were awful, debilitating.
Mhm.
If anyone's had migraine headaches, there is a time where if you had a gun, man, they're bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're real bad. So we had done everything, the medical route. I had MRIs, I had CAT scans. We had a doctor who wanted to do exploratory surgery in my head. We had another doctor who told my parents I had social issues in
Oh
school,
gosh.
making it up. Finally, the chiropractors basically told me, "You'll like this, doc." My head wasn't on straight, and it wasn't. So through correction, musculoskeletal correction, I eliminated my migraines. And you think that that would be enough to give me an interest in going into the field, but it wasn't until I sprained my ankle and went home and then I went to go visit the chiros for a maintenance adjustment for my neck. When they asked me if they could take a look at my ankle, I, of course, said sure. They turns out I had bones that had misaligned as a result of me twisting my ankle that were out of place, which was the reason why I could not put pressure on the foot.
Yeah.
They adjusted my foot and I left the crutches in their office
No, it worked that fast. Oh gosh.
immediately.
Wow.
And they were on the third floor. I never figured I was hoofing it up with these crutches to go see them
Hmm.
and I walked down without them. So I went home that night. I came down to dinner with my parents. I was about 6 weeks out from graduating and had already accepted a job at the Philadelphia Stock Exchange.
Wow.
When I told my parents I wanted to go to chiropractic school, and they were like, "What?
You
Where?
almost fell
What?"
out.
And I never looked back, Dr. B. That was it, man. I was born to become a chiropractor.
So,
And you know what? I was en fuego, on fire. I got through school. I finished my boards, and I worked for a couple of docs right out of school, and then I opened up my own practice with a partner.
okay.
Um, and just for sake of not making this story and keeping audience attention, I'm going to skip a little bit.
Okay.
Uh, I ended up buying a ladies' gym while having my practice, like a Curves.
Okay.
It was called Ladies Workout Express, and this is crazy. At the time, I was a doctor, but not really living a doctor's lifestyle. I was overweight. I was 215 pounds at 5'8".
Right.
And I was super, super heavy. I was pretty much telling patients to do it as I say,
Not as I
not
do.
as I do.
Okay.
Was not living the lifestyle. But we had done a great deal of marketing in this Curves, this ladies workout express type gym. And we got a lot of patients from it, and it came up for sale. And I don't know what we were thinking. You know what? I mean, crazy. I wasn't working out. I was overweight. I was a guy.
Hmm.
And my partner and I, who was also a guy, we bought this ladies' gym. And you know what? It makes no sense, but everything happens for a reason, Dr. B.
Yes.
Everything happens for a reason. So um, it was great. The health and wellness, um, it crossed over to the gym and what we were doing. So we were attracting a lot of patients, but even though the gym and the practice were close by, they're not under the same roof. And
Okay.
just having a traffic light between the two was enough to prevent some of the women to come over to the practice. So I'm like, I had the big idea. I'm like, you know what? If I put the gym in this under the same roof as my practice, and I think that the crossover would be wonderful, and I get a lot more people better. So I decide that's when the idea of my health and wellness center came from, and I decided to add a spa. So Dr. B, I didn't have $2 million to build out this place. I found a location that was just basically four walls and concrete floor. And I hired designers from New York to come in and design my spa, my gym, my medical practice. And it was anyone who cared about me looked at me like, what the heck are you doing? Don't
Hmm.
do this. You're going to break yourself. Um, but I had this vision.
Hmm.
I had this vision, and I was going to get people well. You know, if you build it, they will come. That
Yes.
was my motto. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know where I was going to get the money. Um, Someone at Wells Fargo made a very big mistake. Well, not really. They and they gave me a bunch of money to go live out my dream.
Uh-huh.
And I built it, man. It was beautiful. I ran it for 11 years. It was a five-star resort. We would advertise, come in for an hour, like going on vacation. We served food. We had a smoothie bar. We had personal training, group exercise classes. We did everything from stem cell, PRP, to IV nutritions, to massage, to facials, to chiropractic, acupuncture, physical therapy, occupational therapy. Man, we did it all. It was awesome. And I wrote two books on how to build wellness centers. And then I began traveling the country and promoting the building of wellness centers. During this time, man, I had articles in New York Daily News and Reader's Digest, if anyone ever even remembers what that is. Woman's Day. It was Newsweek. It was amazing. It really was amazing. But you make plans and God laughs.
Hmm.
And in this case, COVID hit. COVID hit. And my gym and my spa were closed down by the state for 9 months. And that's all she wrote, man. By the time I was able to open up at 5%
Oh
occupancy,
gosh. Yeah.
yeah.
No way.
So
No way.
I decided to move on. And it was tough, man. It was tough. It was my life's work, my life's work. But luckily, during this time, back right before COVID began, I learned from a colleague. I was so fortunate to be able to be among my field's elite, or at least have access to them. I'm not quite sure I belonged with them. I never felt comfortable, but these guys were just the leaders in my field. And the chiropractic profession has always been about, like I had mentioned, getting to the root cause of why people have problems and fixing them, identifying them, of course, musculoskeletal wise.
Hmm.
Um, but I met a colleague who was telling me that she was reversing people's type 2 diabetes, their Alzheimer's, cognitive decline, uh,
Hmm.
chronic thyroid, autoimmune diseases. I'm like, what? I didn't learn that in school. Um, but I did my research and I began to learn. And amazingly, by identifying, more than 80% of all chronic diseases are lifestyle diseases.
Yes. Yes.
That means you're not born with it, you
You,
create it.
yeah, you created it.
which means it's you can uncreate it.
Hmm.
So here's the story that has led me to where I am now, and it's a good one, Dr. B. This is going to affect you, I think, man.
Yes.
Um, I had begun reversing patients type 2 diabetes. And like I said, my wife says that it's like I fell in love with another. I was just like, you want to talk about passion. The first time I got people off of their meds, it was like, whoa, it was pretty cool. And I don't know how it happened. I do. I was putting out the energy, man. I got a phone call from an NBC producer back in 2021 that I thought was a joke. I thought maybe it was one of my college buddies pulling a prank on me.
Hmm. Hmm.
But no, they said, Doc, we heard that you reverse type 2 diabetes. We would like for you to present a patient who's insulin dependent, and we'll send them cameras, and we would like to document their journey of you reversing their type 2 diabetes. I'm like, awesome, awesome. So enter Shante. Shante was 52 years old. Her
Okay.
A1C, which should not be above 5.5, 5.6, was at 12.9. She was on two injectable insulin, short and long-term insulin. She was on 2,000 milligrams of metformin. I know you love that one, Dr. B. She was on glipizide.
Okay. That one.
She was on two blood pressure medications and a cholesterol medication.
Wow.
She was in the healthcare field. She was a home health aide. She had such bad neuropathy
Hmm.
that she needed to go upstairs backwards on her tushy. She was in bad shape. So in 5 months, 5 months, we eliminated all of her medication, all of it.
Wow.
She lost 58 pounds.
Okay.
Her A1C was at 5.4
From
and
12.9 to 5.4, and oh my gosh.
5 months.
5 months.
And now this is all documented on an NBC show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most people won't believe me. The last scene of the show, you ready? This always gives me goosebumps, man. They had her running up the Philadelphia Art Museum stairs like Rocky.
That is
It,
so cool.
amazing.
So,
Amazing.
so cool.
So the show was never picked up again.
Yeah, pharmaceutical bought it.
But Shante was the pilot episode, the entire first 30 minutes of a 6 episode pilot called Fixing Us. You can see it on YouTube.
Okay.
Fixing US, Fixing Us. And her name is Shante, so you can just look and you'll see trailers. I don't know if you can get the full episode, but amazing transformation. So after that, there was no stopping me. That's all I wanted to do.
Hmm.
Now that's all I do. I do free master classes, 5-day master classes on Facebook where I teach people how to how to find and get to and eliminate the root cause of what is causing them to have high blood sugar to begin with. So that's my story. That's where I'm at. I'm in the process of writing my third book.
Okay.
It's called Reverse Your Type 2 Diabetes.
Okay.
Treat the root, not the fruit.
Treat the root, not the fruit. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, there's just so many questions. I mean, I love your story and I love um, who you become in the process, and I think about, like one of the things that I try to make sure I help people do is become the person that they, are meant to be, that God put them on this earth to do, by, whatever means it takes to become, because we spend so much time trying to do, and then we want to have, but we never become. And maybe you can just talk a little bit about your identity, because I think that I saw a big switch when you thought you were going to be this marketer, and then you decided you wanted to go into chiropractic. Like, I wanted to kind of think of your identity shifts. And in this gym, right? You're a big, huge visionary, but you took it to like level 9. Not like I'm a visionary that I want to have a gym. I'm like, I'm going to have a resort. And then what kind of identity did you have to become, or we were just already that person and you were super successful right away, that allowed you to do that? And then now, as you're helping people, me will be one of them, get off of some of these meds and do the things that I truly want to do. what does that identity look like? It sounds like more of a contribution, type person now than it may have been when you were a businessman, or you still are, obviously, but
I have reinvented myself so many times. They've been different chapters in my life. I can't wait. I love life, man. I can't wait for the next chapter. I never in a million years thought that I'd even become a doctor in my first 20 years of life. I mean, that's not what I was studying to do.
Mhm.
And then practicing chiropractic for the last 28 years, what I've been able to do, between stem cell therapy, which is the regeneration of joints, um, through diabetes and chronic disease reversal and IV nutrition, it's been amazing. Helping people find their way to health and wellness has been my purpose, my passion, and it's taken some perseverance, man. That my wellness center was no joke, but it crashed as a result of COVID, and it my identity definitely changed. I was a national speaker for the profession, writing books,
Yeah.
um, running this empire. It was I had 85 employees, and my overhead was several $100,000 a month.
Um,
Um, it's everything's changed now. Now I work from home, and I treat people all over the country,
I love
and I
it.
reach them. I just reach out to them and try to get them the message because I can't afford to get on to your primetime TV commercials like the jingles that you hear for the diabetic meds that simply just cover this up, man. You can reverse this disease by getting to the root cause of what caused it to begin with. Just getting my message out gets me fired up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I'm just thinking of all the people who could use it. I mean, you watch the television that shows this med that's on there and then they tell you all the things it's going to do to you with the side effects, and you could die, you could you could have no limbs, you could have no vision, you could but go ahead and take our meds because they're great for you. Uh, and then to think that there's solutions that we have to get out there, that we have to let know that's there. Before we jump into, some of the things that you're doing, just want to kind of find out about your spiritual journey, because
Sure.
that had to be up and down as well, as you're reinventing yourself and you're trying to find what that is. Just kind of maybe tell me what that has been like. I'm just picturing you playing tennis, thinking, "Yep, diabetes someday."
No, I never even crossed my mind. Truly, it's just unbelievable where life has led me. But there hasn't been a lot of static. There's been a lot of ups
Hmm.
and there's been a lot of downs. And spiritually, mentally, you have to be strong. You have to realize you signed up for this. Um, a lot of risk, a lot of reward. A lot of people don't like risk. Um, I really follow my heart, and I've never let fear of change, of what if, stop me from moving in the direction of what I am passionate about. My purpose is to help people. My purpose is to help people without drugs and surgery, help them find their way. Your body is born to heal.
Yeah.
And just tapping into that and understanding that and realizing what foods to eat and that uh, now the meditation is a major. I believe in DREAM, and
Okay.
it's an acronym that stands for D for diet, R for rest, E for exercise, A for adjustments. I am a chiropractor, Dr. B, gosh
Yes,
darn
you
it.
are.
And then M, man, I just found out like a secret tool for M, which stands for mental attitude.
Okay.
And listen, I totally believe what you put out, you get back, good and bad. What you think about, you bring about, and you visualize to materialize. But people like, oh, that's cool. Well, if you're always having negative thoughts, man, that's what you're materializing. So it's good and bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's two sides to every coin, right? I've never seen. What did Myron Golden say? He said there's not two sides to a sheet of paper. There's not two sides to. You ever seen a two-sided or one-sided pancake? Everything has its and it's taking the side that's going to make the biggest difference.
Yes.
And then that's the side that you spend your time on.
Spiritually, man, I've had to fight some demons, man. It's tough when you have everything and everything's going for you, and it seems like you could do no wrong. Everything you do turns to gold. And then all of a sudden it seems to go the opposite way. And you have to have strong convictions. You have to have that
Yeah.
perseverance, and you have to have inner strength to fight the fight.
Yeah. Absolutely. Did you try to manage a family through all these things, or what's the?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been through a divorce when I was building actually I built my wellness center after the divorce, but I don't
Okay.
believe I would have been able to do it while
While you were
maintaining
married, yeah.
a marriage. It was a full-time job in and of itself. But I will tell you this too. I think I was a better dad as a single dad.
Okay.
It enabled me when my ex was with the children, it enabled me to work 365 days a week, 24/7 on my projects. But when I had the kids, which I shared in the week with the children, all my time was on them.
Mm,
I was able to split my time appropriately and never work when they were in the home, or at least when they went to sleep.
yeah.
But it's been great. And now I'm happily remarried with my third daughter,
Okay.
because if I had a fourth child, that would be a daughter too. Um, it's wonderful, man. It's awesome. I've got my eldest is in college. My middle is about to go to college, and coincidentally, the same college as my eldest.
Okay.
And my youngest is following in my footsteps, playing in a band, playing tennis. She's well-rounded, well-rounded. It's great. There has to be, in order for someone, I believe, to be fully, completely happy, there has to be balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
The meditation is helping me also get
Oh,
in
good.
control of those negative thoughts with affirmations.
I want to ask you a question that I spend a lot of time with my guest on, and because you are a dad. Sometimes we understand that kids need moms and dads. I 1,000%, that's the ultimate. You are a better person if you had a mom and dad that were involved in your life. I don't know if they needed to be together to be mad, but that you have them to be together. But what we don't talk about a lot is, what does it mean to be a dad, and how has that changed who you are as a person? Because you sometimes we say, "Oh, yeah, the kids need a dad. That's great, and that's about the kids." But being a dad, there's just something, if you take it serious, is special about it. I want to kind of hear your thoughts about, what does it mean to be a dad?
Yeah, man, whew, that's heavy.
Yeah.
Especially a girl dad.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, listen, I can tell you this. Right before my third daughter was born, and right before I got remarried,
Hmm.
I took my two daughters, my eldest daughters, to Disney, but not just Disney, Disney in Paris. And because I wanted them to experience a different culture. I wanted to get them out. I wanted them to see what it looks like to live outside of the United States, or just kind of get an idea of what it is to get them out of their shell.
Right.
And I figured, because at their ages, I'm like, you guys want to go to Disney? So I figured I could, and here's the greatest thing. Here's one of the greatest memories. So we were staying in a hotel that was the Disney Hotel, but that's like an hour outside of
Oh,
Paris.
it is. Okay. Didn't realize.
Yeah, so we wanted to go to Paris for the day, and we missed the bus. We missed the bus, and my kids were so upset. They were like, "What are we gonna do?" I'm like, "We're gonna take the subway." They're like, "What?" And we looked at the map and found our way into Paris, walked all over Paris, went to museums, sat in a cafe on the side of the street, and I just watched them watching everything. Um, and I had promised them 3 days at Disney and two in Paris. And after our second day in Paris and our next day, final day, was going to be at Disney, the two kids asked me, "Can we skip Disney, Dad, and do
New Paris.
another day in Paris?" And I was like,
Yep.
baby. I just got to tell you, I'll never forget that trip.
Mhm.
How proud they were to take the subway in and back and have an entire day in Paris and in museums with their dad. It was awesome. I don't know if I can describe anything better. Going to soccer games and just listen. My daughter is in college, but I get word from her every day, even if it's just to say good night, love you. You can't
Yeah.
describe what
No,
the
you can't.
feeling of being a father is.
No, you really thank you for sharing that because my thought, I have 8 children, so I have 3 girls and 5 boys. And the experiences that I still try to create for their lives are everything. It is what when I think about purpose, yeah, I got a purpose that, my business and the things that I do and podcasting and all that kind of stuff. But my number one purpose is being a dad and trying to be the best I can be. And now, we have 16 grandkids as a result. And so now I'm trying to think of every week, how do I feed in to grandkids? Um, and so this last week, I have we call them the A tribe. And it's the A tribe kids. And so on Sundays, I try to do something for the A tribe kids, whether it's a post or a video or something. And this last week, I came up with I'm gonna go through their names. I'm gonna tell them what their name means. I'm gonna give them part of our culture. My culture is Native American, so I'm gonna give them a Native American,
Awesome.
portion to it. And then I'm going to and then I have a prayer that I'm going to say, and I'm recording that for all the kids to see, but going from the oldest to the youngest. And I'm just thinking that's an experience that they don't ever forget. Those are
Yeah.
the types of things that you go, how do I create? We do these trips where like we met in San Diego a couple years ago, and there's 32 of us now that are, and I take them to Legoland and we just play at Legoland but that's yeah, I mean that's life, right? That's why you and I want to get up every single day.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not because we can build something else. It's because we can, spend those times with our kids, that's just so cool. So,
It is fun.
yes, it is
And
so fun.
I see so many people not enjoying life, man. The biggest I heard this as a suggestion to college kids. I forget who was saying it. Someone was speaking at a college graduation. Um, oh my goodness, it was Kathy Gifford.
Okay.
Yeah. And she said the best advice I can give you, and certainly it wasn't hers, it's been around forever, but she said, decide what it is that you like to do and then figure out how to make money at it. You'll never work a day in your life.
Never work a day in your life. Yeah.
Yeah. Today is Monday and it's amazing. And I share this with patients just so they know and I hope that they are feel the same way. It's the first day of my work week. I wake up like, awesome. I get to work today. And listen, I love and enjoy my time off with my family, but I love my career. I love what I do. It's not like I work. It's fun.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for sure. Yeah, my oldest lives in, or not lives, he works for Pixar. And so
Oh,
Disney is a big
awesome.
thing, and he gets loaned out to Disney all the time. And so I know the last project he was on was, or what that Disney had him on was making like a the whatever the thing, the border that goes around one of the new rides that they're putting, and they put all the Disney characters in Disney Paris. And so it's like I got to go there because I got to see his, everybody goes to go to ride. I'm going to go to see what the wall around the ride looks like. But it's
Yeah.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, it is so cool, so fun. What I'd love to do, thank you for sharing that because that was so vitally important. I want to kind of go back to what your passion and your purpose and with the type 2 diabetes as I'm thinking, man, I want to document myself or my life or do a podcast or do something that gets the word out there even more. Obviously, I want to be fixed and I want to, not deal with this anymore. As I'm fighting with insurance companies and saying this is, what I need, this is what I know works. But man, what an opportunity. And maybe you can kind of just go through, the first of this. So what are some of the things that, a person like myself, I think my last A1C was like 10.3 or something like that. Because I was off all these meds that because the insurances were like, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to pay you guys 2 grand a month to put some poison in my body. But at the same time, like we switched insurances and we didn't have the other one and just all the mess that goes with it.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm walking every day, 3 miles every single day. And, I'm like, oh man, what would I? So I think it's, a blessing that you and I are having this conversation today because I'm the
Right.
type of person who's willing to do whatever somebody tells me to do if I know or believe it's going to work. And there's
Sure.
so many people that don't, that just, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
maybe
I
you
do
can,
something called the Star is Born segment with
okay.
patients. And I do about one a week, and I put on my Facebook page. It's just patients reversing their type 2 diabetes. And we show the before and after lab work. We tell their story. We tell their story of how their doctor's jaws hit the ground when we present them with empirical data of after lab work. It's amazing. So what you need to do, and it's a little bit more involved, but than
Yeah, then
this,
we can do it. Yeah.
obviously. But um, there are things that are causing you to have insulin resistance. It's a lifestyle disease, but there's more aspects to our lifestyle than just diet or lack of exercise.
Yeah.
Like what? Well, here's one of the main things. There's GI tract problems, there's underlying infections, there's hormone irregularity, there's toxins. We come in contact with over 700,000 toxins a day as Americans. 700 from laundry detergent to antiperspirants to soaps, perfumes to pots and pans to plastics. It's everywhere. Pesticides. It is everywhere. So you have to identify what it is, what aspects of your lifestyle. Now, get this. This might surprise some people. Food does not cause type 2 diabetes. It does not. Now, I'm going to prove it to you like with a mic drop.
Okay.
Because when I say this, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. Think about this. If food caused type 2 diabetes, then that food would cause type 2 diabetes in everybody that ate it.
Mm.
Aha. No. Food is the water out of a flowering pot on the bad seeds that you have that turn into diabetes. Now, what seeds do you have that you're watering? Because listen, there like a Big Mac is not good for you. I think we all know that.
Mhm.
But someone who has type 2 diabetes eats a Big Mac and their blood sugar spikes to the crazy. A person without type 2 diabetes eats a Big Mac and they just don't feel well later because a Mac makes you feel crummy, but their blood sugar doesn't spike. It's not food. Food is just water on the bad seeds. Now, what are your bad seeds? And those seeds can be, they're different for everybody. I had a husband and wife who came into me. They were both about to be put on insulin from their doctors because they
Mhm.
kept getting worse. They had the same family doctor being treated with the same medications. We mentioned them: metformin, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Jardiance, Trulicity. There's a whole bunch of them. They weren't getting better. They heard me speak. They came to see me.
Mhm.
I did the detective work. That's what it takes. No one does detective work to find out. Well, she had hormone irregularity. He had a parasite.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
moly. Right. So what we did is we eliminated the parasite. The parasite was causing is a parasitic infection that was causing that causes inflammation, causes high blood sugar, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes. Boom. There's his root cause. Hers was hormone irregularity. If you cannot regulate your hormones, you cannot regulate your blood sugar. Now, I had to prescribe treatment programs that were totally different for each one of them, but they're both off of all their medication. They're both have normal A1Cs, normal blood glucose, and have eliminated the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. That parasite wasn't going to be found. Or hormone irregularity was going to be swept under the rug with
Yeah.
her simply being told, well, you're a woman. It's premenopausal, it's postmenopausal, it's postpartum. Um, it's crazy what's missed
Hmm.
because so the traditional care is to manage and control the high blood sugar.
Okay.
Manage and control, not eliminate. If you
Hmm.
ask your physician, will this medication eliminate the disease? They're like, no, no. And it will lead to more medications. We're going to manage and control until that medication and that
Doesn't work
dose
anymore.
can't any longer.
Hmm.
And then we go to the next layer and the next layer. And then there's three layers typically. It starts with metformin. That is typically the entry level at 500 milligrams. Then it goes to 1,000. Then it goes to 1,000 twice a day. And then you're maxed out.
Yeah.
Then it goes to a second layer. That second layer is like a glipizide, a
Mhm.
glimepiride, Trulicity. I see Manjaro and Ozempic jump in here. Jardians, Janumet. These are
Yeah.
all second layer medications. And they'll play with them because you're going to have adverse reactions and side effects to these meds. Now, get this. Before I even go on to the third layer, which is insulin, once you get to insulin, that's it, man. There's no other options, no other tools on the tool belt, just more units of insulin. And meanwhile, you're getting worse because the medicine's not intended to reverse the disease. It's
No, it's
intended
just control it. Wow.
to
Okay.
manage and control. No one looks for the real reason why you have it. And like I'm saying, with this couple, it was two different reasons altogether. You have to identify what those reasons are, and you have to do the detective work to find it.
Is that detective work hard to do as far as figuring that out, or is it just a
So
trial and error thing?
it's like, for instance, one of the major tools that I use to find out if people have GI tract problems. Now, 80% of all chronic disease is thought to come from your GI tract.
Hmm. Hmm.
No one does a stool test unless you take your dog to the vet. It's the first thing they ask for. But Hippocrates, all doctors take that Hippocratic oath. He was the father of modern medicine, and he believed all disease comes from the
Comes from
gut.
the gut.
And he did three tests. He did blood, urine, and stool tests. Stool tests. We don't do them anymore. It tells you a lot of information. Hormone irregularity tests, toxin tests, um, there, blood work, but not just blood work, extensive blood work, looking under the hood. Most physicians are simply calling for markers that they can medicate.
Hmm.
Um, that's not a jab. They're medical physicians, they prescribe medicine. So they're looking for markers that they can give you medicine for.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Inflammation's a killer, and doctors don't call for inflammation markers. In fact, many get this. It's gonna get you goat, Dr. Brian.
All
Here,
right.
so Aetna is one of the insurance companies that does not cover homocysteine. Homocysteine is an inflammation marker. Inflammation is the root cause of all chronic diseases.
Yeah.
And the reason why Aetna doesn't cover it is because Aetna is owned by CVS.
The pharmacy. Oh my gosh. And if you get rid of it, then you can't prescribe it. And if you can't prescribe it, then
There's
you
no medication for high inflammation, so why would CVS allow Aetna to pay for it? That's awful. And that's the world we live in,
yeah.
unfortunately. We're not doing the detective work. We're not looking for why. For why?
Hmm.
Why do you have insulin resistance and high blood sugar? When you answer that question, you have the roadmap there to eliminate the disease, which is documented worldwide that you could do it. And I've been doing it for over 10 years,
Patient after patient after patient that
patient after patient. I'll
that
tell you what I need. I need compliance. Like you
Mhm.
said, I'll do what you tell me to do. So, uh, you know what I could do? For those that are interested, just reach out to me by email and I'll send you Shante, the introduction to my book,
Okay.
Shante's story, which is a great one, man. It's a great
Cool.
one.
Well, thank you for doing that. I mean, that's huge because I know there's a lot of people like myself who are looking for solutions and struggling to find them. And like you said, if I don't even know what detective work to start looking at, then it's really hard to find, okay, so where do I go? What do I see? What are the videos that I watch? What are the things that I do? And so when there's somebody who can give me somebody like a testimonial, like Shantae said, I did this, this is
Yeah,
what I did, then it kind of starts the turning in the journey. And I think of it as, how do I say, okay, this is the journey I'm getting ready to go on. How do I make sure I document it, make sure that it's, like CBS did and then pulled it off, but do it on a scale like, on like we're doing on YouTube and the things I know you're doing with the stuff you're doing and why you're coming on podcasts like this. And
yeah.
how do we just get it to be to the point where too bad everybody's doing this instead of the pharmacy route where it's like making our medical providers more and more money that because I feel like this type of stuff, the chronic disease fund, a whole bunch of other stuff that they, they want to do because they have us on so much of, paying for nonsense that allow them to. I'm hoping it's research, but I think it's just funding pockets. I don't want to say that and know that because I don't know that for sure, but I
Well,
just
I'll tell you this. I mean, if this stands for anything, we take more medication than any other country in the world. It comes down to 18 pills per American per day. So I take none, and I don't say that to brag. I say that to my neighbors taking 36.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. And it's we are the one of only two countries in the world that allow pharmaceutical companies to advertise on television. Um, it's like you were saying, you were joking, but it's serious, man. They tell you what the benefits of taking the medication are, and then they take the next 8 minutes to tell you about all the side effects, one of which could be death.
It's
So
always death at the end. It's always the last one. And if you're not feeling this, go consult your doctor after you die.
yeah, there is another way. There is another way, and it's natural healing, man. And I just want to get that message out. I end every segment that I do by saying, "This is Dr. Raj wishing you health and wellness." And it's an education. It's really just trying to get into the know. We're not supposed to know.
Yeah, yeah. And you think of how much more productive our society could be and how much more time they could spend on doing good if they weren't so sick, if they weren't so, like I hate the way I feel some days
Hmm.
that I just like, okay, so why am I feeling like this? Whether I'm doing a intermittent fast or something like that, and I feel really good, and then I come off of it, and then I feel terrible, or like I feel great after my 3 mile walk every day, but by the end of the day, I'm just exhausted. I'm tired. I'm like, I want to go do stuff. I want to go help people. I want to, make their lives better. And I can't do it because of my health. I hate that I have to wear socks every day, that for the neuropathy that is, that I find when I got socks on, but if I take my socks off, then my feet start.
Neuropathy is reversible. Chronic kidney disease is reversible. So, you know what? What's best is for you to hear from the horse's mouth. For anyone who's listening, go to my Facebook group page. It's called Real Health Roots. Real Health Roots. And I have like 50 different videos of testimonials, interviews that I have of people. And get a box of Kleenex though, because they are tear jerkers. It's awesome, man. I got the greatest job in the world helping people get back into the driver's seat of their own health and wellness, reclaim their life. Eliminate neuropathy, eliminate medications, get their energy back, sleep properly. It's awesome, man. Again, you created it. You can uncreate this
Yeah.
sucker. It's a lifestyle disease. It starts with lifestyle changes. And I see people, Dr. B, I see people who are rail thin. They could stand to gain a couple of pounds. Um, who have dieted and they eat clean. Their A1C is through the roof. It is not so it's not a weight, it's not diet and exercise. It's those are aspects of our lifestyle, but there's a lot of other aspects to our lifestyle too that no one's addressing. We're just medicating. That's
Yeah, it is. And there's so much more to life that can do that. And so, thank you for being part of this show today. Thank you. I'm thanking you in
thanks for
advance
having me.
for changing my life. I don't need the testimonials. I just needed you, but I will watch the testimonials because it will help.
Oh, that's great.
Because
You're great.
because you get to the point like when I think of, when you come with something that somebody needs, you don't have to convince somebody. I think so many of us that are in business, that are in sales, that are doing stuff, are always trying to convince somebody to do something that they need because it'll be beneficial for them. But if we really just truly look for the people who already want what we have, and already, and have a desire, like you said, I need compliance. And there's so many people out there that need compliance, and eventually those others will come around if you can get to the ones who are ready to do it. And so hopefully those of you who are on the show, if you are at a point where you're dealing with type 2 diabetes, or some of the, kidney disease, or some of the things that Dr. Raj has talked about, it's time to fix this. It's time to say, no more. I'm not going to just take another med because they're asking me to take another med because I don't think I have a choice. Once you know you have a choice, now it's your time to do something about it. And so I so appreciate you coming on today, and to share your story, and to share who you are, and just your love of life, your love of wanting
Um,
to help people. I think that
thank you.
comes across in spades. It comes across in your genuineness that says,
Thank
no, I'm
you.
not doing this because I want to make another buck. I got that already
No,
handled. I'm doing this
no.
because I truly want to help people. Any last thoughts yet? Because I know you want to say health and wellness and what you want, but I want you to go ahead and take your time to give any other websites that we need, and any other.
Yeah, sure. So, realhealthroots.com or Real Health Roots on Facebook, the Facebook group. Or if you want to just email me and you want a copy of the my forward to my book, Shante's Story, just email me. It's at Dr. Raj, that's DRRAJ, at drrajgupta.com. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's DRRAJ at drrajgupta.com. You can just Google me, I'll come up.
Yeah, you'll pop up, and then figure out a way to email you, and we will put all this in the show notes. And so if you're just seeing this for the first time, just go here. But I'm basically going to tell you, go down to the bottom in the comments. I'll pin it, click on it, and you'll go right to it. So just thank you for this opportunity. I can't wait to start documenting my journey as I'm ready to get ready and take it. And I'm good at doing stuff for a lot of days. The last thing I've been doing a post every day for the last over 1,000 days now. So there's not going to be. We're going to document this. We're going to show it. We're
That's
going to get it
awesome,
out there.
man.
We're
That's
going to.
accountability. Yeah.
Yes, the accountability will be there. And for those who hit subscribe, as we always try to do, just make sure that we have great episodes for you to be able to see. Great episodes of people who are making a difference in society, successful people in the realm of doing what their purpose is, and making sure that they've come and been, whatever their calling is to be part of this, they're doing it, and they're doing it well. And you've just seen that example with Dr. Raj. Don't forget your God's greatest gift. He loves you if you allow him to. And we'll look forward to talking to you on the next episode. Have an amazing, awesome, just incredible day today. We'll talk to you soon.